Hello replayers, this is MisterUltimate and welcome to a first look review of Toby the Secret Mine, which is a puzzle platformer by indie developer Lukas Navratil, whose name I am almost sure that I just butchered, so if that is the case, I greatly apologize. Now, the first thing you're probably going to notice is, hey, that looks a lot like Limbo. And you're correct. This game is directly inspired by Limbo and Nihilumbra, two platformers that I think are modern day classics. You're going to be able to draw a lot of parallels between these games, so don't think that by any stretch of the imagination is a negative on the part of this game. Let's go ahead and get into a few of the things that I've observed so far in the time that I've played it. I've played for a short time. I actually don't know how long I've played it, but I didn't get too far into the game, but enough to see a lot of the mechanics, enough to see the graphics, and enough to see how the sound plays into the graphics and how the game overall seems to be going. One thing I gotta say is that I'm very pleasantly surprised, and I actually shouldn't say pleasantly surprised, but I am very pleased that the quality seems to be very similar to Limbo and Nihilumbra. It's a very good looking game. The controls are very responsive. They're very simple. You have jump, interact, and movement. That's really all you need. Everything seems to be put together very well. The puzzles are very well thought out and well timed. The puzzles start off very simple, where the solution is going to be quite obvious and almost right in front of you, and it's going to ease you into it, and it's going to ramp up the difficulty. I really like when a game does that, where through gameplay it teaches you to play the game, teaches you how things work in this world that you're entering without the use of a tutorial level. Because to be honest, I hate tutorial levels. I think we all hate tutorial levels. I really don't think that they're necessary. If you're just smart about the way you design your game, you really shouldn't need one. And this one doesn't have one, and it doesn't need it, not at all. It shows you how things work, how the physics work. Everything is, again, very perfectly timed to the movement of your character, which is probably my one little nitpick. And this really is just a personal thing, is that Toby seems to move just a little bit slow for my liking. And I don't know, I guess I'm just used to a certain speed of platformer, and this one seems to be a little bit on the slow side, and it does stick out to me. But again, that's a nitpick. I doubt many people will have it. It's probably just a personal preference. I can't really hold it against the game either, because like I said, everything's timed to Toby's speed, so any platforming that you have to do on the fly that requires speed and accuracy, judging distances, things like that, any timing that's involved, it's going to work out to Toby's speed, so it's not going to hinder you in any way, shape, or form. So overall, I do think that the mechanics are really nice. I do also like that there is a bit of variety. You have the push objects, pull levers, push buttons, open doors type of mechanic in solving puzzles. You also have navigating around obstacles, maybe finding a secret passage that you are alerted to by a subtle audio cue, like a creak of wood as you're walking along, to let you know that you can jump up and down and break through this and find an alternate path to get around certain death that's right there in front of you. I also like that there are chase sequences involved, where you have this instant death that is chasing you and urging you forward. That is very similar to Nihilumbra. I see a direct inspiration there, very similar to when the void would chase you along, and you would have to do your platforming very accurately, make split-second decisions, use timing on the fly, evaluate what's in front of you, while keeping in mind that instant death is following you and you have to keep moving. It's done sparingly. So far, I've only seen one really difficult chase sequence where honestly, that's where I stopped playing the game, because I need a break. But I didn't want to go too far into the game either. But I kind of felt like if I went ahead and replayed the chase sequence and I beat it, that I was going to want to keep playing, so I decided to go ahead and take the break so that I could do this first look review. Now, visually, as you can see, it's very crisp. Everything in the foreground looks great, backgrounds look great. The characters, even though they're monochromatic, they have their own personality to them. Enemies look menacing, things that are supposed to look sympathetic. Toby and his fellow villagers, they look sympathetic. You want to help his fellow villagers, you want to rescue them. At least that's how I feel about it. It's very aesthetically pleasing. The theme is very nice. It looks very similar to Limbo, but it does have a theme all of its own, to where it's not just a clone. I wouldn't go as far as to say that Toby the Secret Mind is a clone of Limbo. I would call it more of a spiritual successor, maybe. I think that's a more appropriate term, because it is a world all of its own, and the visuals combined with the audio, which is also very well done. Everything is crisp and clean. The volumes are set just right. The environmental sounds, the sound effects from objects that you can interact with, and the music, it all ties together, and it helps give the world that you're exploring a very lived-in feel. You kind of feel like this is a place that was built by somebody, and somebody lived here, somebody used these things, and it's not just there solely for the purpose of you solving puzzles and doing some platforming. You kind of feel like this is a world you get to visit, and it's very immersive. Also, I like that there's a different type of chase sequence where this giant who is kidnapping your fellow villagers will be right in front of you, and as you get close to him, he runs off and the tempo jumps up and you want to chase him down. And I don't know what would happen if little Toby caught this giant, but you just want to do it. You want to try to catch him. And in my head, I know I'm not going to get to catch him. I just started playing this game. It's not going to let me catch this guy. It's not going to let me, meet my antagonist just yet. But I just wanted to do it, and I tried, and I ran as fast as I could. It's very satisfying. Also, if I can go back to the mechanics of the game real quick, the puzzles also are very satisfying, because they have what all puzzles need, which is that aha moment where you're given all the tools you need. They're laid out and they might be scattered and disarrayed, but you can gather all these tools and you see the obstacle in front of you, the puzzle to be solved, and you put them together, and then when you solve it, you get that aha, I did that, I made that happen. That little bit of satisfaction, that's what puzzles really need. Too often a developer will call something a puzzle when it's just look for the switch and push it. That's not really a puzzle. You're just activating a simple machine. You're pushing something and then something else is happening. I don't really think that is a puzzle. That's what some developers have tried to pass off as puzzles. I think it needs to be a little bit more complex. You need to have to use some logic. I also like that there's different types of puzzles. There was one where there was, a button. You push the button and it opens up a row of 4, and you have to find the right combination of the row of 4, and then it opens up more and more and more until you find the entire cipher. That's a very mild puzzle, because really it's just memory. It's not really solving a problem. It's right there in front of you what you need to do, but you just do have to experiment with it, and it goes by very quickly, but it gives that little bit of variety. I do like that there are things that break up the monotony, and you don't get bored of any type of mechanic. So that is really great. So that's gonna do it for my first look at Toby the Secret Mind. Again, I'm going to be doing a full score review on extendedreplay.com, so be on the lookout for that. And also, I'm going to be doing a one-shot Let's Play of Toby the Secret Mind on my channel, MisterUltimate XRP, which of course you're already subscribed to, because why wouldn't you be? That would just be silly. So this is going to do it for my first look review. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you can see all of the videos we're going to be bringing you very, very soon. In the meantime, I pray that you all love one another, and until next time, I remain Mr. Ultimate.